How to join the elite, part whatever this is, you got to take care of your health. And yes, this is in relation to the untimely passing of one Kevin Samuels. RIP to him nonetheless. We need to take some lessons, whatever he said in life or in death or how he even died. Yes, we have to take those lessons, even if they mean or if they seem self-contradictory to what he stated in life. Because one of the things he did mention was if you are broke, if you are down to your last penny, and if you are not working 60 hours, then shut up and get to work. And overall, yes, that is a good message. But for individuals who either know they can't handle it, you can't handle the stress, or individuals who already have something to their names, it's okay to take a break. It's okay to unwind for a bit. It's okay to just crank it down just by a notch. Just like they say, when it comes to jet airplanes, a third of the engine is used during takeoff. And that's a good strategy to use during takeoff. That's a good analogy to use. If you're starting something, expect to work longer than usual in getting yourself out there, getting the business done, learning whatever application you need to do your job. But eventually there should be a point where you should be on some sort of autopilot to the point where the work you do seems almost mundane, almost, dare I say, boring. But then again, isn't that what a lot of us really want? Guys, anyway, we just want a boring, monotonous life where everything's predictable. We know when we'll get up. We know when we'll go to work or do our business or whatever. We know when we'll have lunch. We know when we get off or hang out with the guys. We know that we'll have a hot meal, cold beer, and a warm bed. Isn't that what most guys want? And isn't that the reason why we stress ourselves out to do this? And speaking of which, our dear friend Kevin Samuels, despite what a lot of the haters would say about him dying alone or being part of the squad, he didn't die alone. And he had, if nothing else, a warm bed. Nonetheless, we have drawn some morbid humor. But look, your physical health, you gotta take care of it. Kevin Samuels even worked out. So, needless to say, work out. Physically, take care of yourself. I'd say exercise at least once every other day, like at minimum every other day, 2 to 3 days a week. Well, 3 days a week at minimum, 3 to 4, if not 5 to 6. But try not to exercise 7 days a week because you're going to need time for your physical muscles to rest, and you're going to need time for your brain to rest, which I'll talk about this in a bit. But one of the things you can do to rest, one of the best things you can do to rest, is to catch some C's and go to sleep, which is probably one of the things that, even though Kevin Samuels taught us a lot of valuable things, one of the things that I'm not going to say he might want to take back is how little sleep he got, supposedly. Because he did his show quite late, especially being on the East Coast. And with that being said, for me personally, I noticed that whenever I get more than 7 hours of sleep, I'm better. But ironically, whenever I go to sleep on the weekends, I wake up earlier, which that might be a whole psychological thing. But especially on work nights, business nights when you know you're going to have to do something tomorrow, get that 8 hours of sleep. 8 hours. That's the goal we're going to go here. 8 hours. I know people say, oh, how much? 8 hours. Look, if you are at that point where you don't have to grind and hustle and go on takeoff mode like the airplane, getting out of the airport, 8 hours. You'll thank yourself later. And as far as that's concerned, for me personally, whenever I get 8 hours sleep or more, I actually lose weight. And particularly in sections where it's harder to lose weight in. And for me, the hardest places to lose weight are basically the midsections. Even though a lot of people say, "Oh, you look solid," blah, blah, blah. I'm very self-critical of myself even to this very day. And this is coming from someone who, yeah, I'd say 12 years ago was 60 pounds heavier, and not with muscle neither. So maybe that's something that still psychologically affects me to this very day. But yeah, people will say, "Oh, you look great," but I'm like, okay, yeah, I look good, but yeah, this midsection needs to go. I mean, that's the difference for me between being formidable and invincible, right? By having, well, not even a dad bod, but for having, between a girlfriend ready and a hot boy summer ready, Bob. Or maybe I should say boyfriend ready. You get the picture. Anyway, one of the other things that we as guys need to tend to, especially brothers out there, because we all know how certain other guys are basically pandered to, and yeah, anyway. But guys in general, we need to tend to our mental health. Our mental health should be just as important as how the mainstream media will tell everybody else in the world that, your mental health comes first, and you need to look. If you step on a toe, if you step on a Tic Tac and not the actual Tic Tacs they use in the office, I'm talking about like the actual Tic Tacs you put in your mouth. If you step on that first thing in the morning, it's okay to get a therapist. If your dog pees in your house, it's okay to talk it out. If you, and this goes for some of these other guys who might be spoiled, if you lose in the Call of Duty game or a Halo game or one of these games on Xbox Live or PSN, and if your girlfriend dumps you for some BBC or some Mr. Ahmed, whose father owns a penthouse in Dubai, or Mr. Wico Suave, whose dad owns a penthouse in Miami. Well, what was the issue with this guy? Why did he all of a sudden go to high school, and go to college, or go wherever he went to, and he went pow wheels on a bunch of random people, huh? We need to figure out, I'm Dr. Lipschitz, right? And yeah, same Lipschitz from the Rugrats, and yeah, we need to figure out if this individual came from a messed up family, or his parents were abusive, or his siblings were abusive, or if he had a good LAN connection on his Xbox or PlayStation, because there's no way a guy like this, a fine young gentleman like him, will pull up on dubs and just go pow wheels on everyone. What? He came from an affluent family. The household is worth $1.5 million. Okay. And yes, I'm not trying to steal Mr. Mackey's catchphrase. I know he may sue me for that. What? His mom was a stay-at-home mom, and his dad made the majority of the money, and even his mom made some money on the internet, and it wasn't OnlyFans. Okay. His siblings loved him and said he would never do something like this. Okay. Well, what? Well, did his girl leave him for some BBs? Look, certain guys will get that mental health leniency, but for guys who aren't given that mental health leniency, and yes, there are some brothers from other mothers who get that as well. I get that. This is not to racialize things, but we know the spoiled kind of individuals who are basically just coddled to the point where influenza hits them and they act like they can do no wrong. See, those are the guys who need the real kick in the ass when it comes to the real world, versus other guys, regardless of race, who are basically given no leniency on anything they do, or no opportunities or no recommendations to get your mental health in order. And I'm not saying that's something that affected Kevin Samuels, definitely not. But I'm seeing a lot of people feeling a certain kind of way over the negative reactions that Kevin Samuels is getting posthumously. And to those individuals especially, Another thing you can do is just turn off social media. You don't even have to turn off the internet, just turn off social media. Because remember, and this is an original quote from me, social media is the internet for double-digit IQ people. Remember, there was an internet before social media, but it was way more highbrow than this. Social media and the phone just gave everyone access to it, and we see how most people react to it, which was the same reason why Kevin Samuels, if he would have lived another 56 years, would have never, and The Rock means never, had any sort of worry or the concern of making money. I mean, at this point, he would have been the next Steve Harvey, let's just be honest. And also, on the last point, the reason why I say rest, physically, mentally, financially even. Yeah, I mean, you work your 60 hours in the beginning, but keep it down, like, have a coast moment. Have a moment in which you can just do 40 hours, maybe even 30 hours, maybe even 20 hours. Oh, 20-hour work week? Oh, that sounds like socialism. Save it. But people like Kevin Samuels, he died with millions. There are going to be other people who will die with millions or at least a significant amount of money. Now, I'm not saying go spend your money on hookers and blow and die broke. But as far as that's concerned, if you put in the work in the beginning, you deserve to enjoy the fruits of your labor. Which, that, more than anything, will help you revitalize your physical, your psychological, and your mental state so that you can take on whatever lies ahead. Everyone else out there, take care.